Honestly, even after 4 days since the announcement, I still can't believe IKKAKU of all characters is an end-of-year headliner. Then again, it's not the first time we've seen an unexpected character be part of a big celebration. I mean, we did technically get Chojuro for an anniversary. And also Grammy for 9th anniversary, even though Grammy's actually really cool. No one expected that. Regardless though, with that said, despite IKKAKU not really being the most exciting character in this banner, even when it comes from a gameplay standpoint, he definitely is the most lackluster of the three. And that is for 2 reasons. One, he is going to be the Brave Battle character of the banner. So naturally, hype is going to be lower with this unit because it is for a game mode not everyone really likes playing. But even if you do like playing Brave Battles, it's a character you're not really manually playing with like you are going to be doing with Aizen and also Shunsui. But also, like we spoke about before the character did release, when it comes to the skills this character does have, he essentially has everything you want in a new modern Brave Battle unit. He has persistence. He ignores persistence. Under half stamina, he decreases the damage that he does take. He has prevent last ditch survival. He has invincibility, while ignoring invincibility, flurry +3, and also most importantly, he does have the opening stat boost. So when this character starts in Brave Battles for 10 seconds, he will give himself a 30% attack, focus, and defense increase. That's literally exactly what you want in a Brave Battle unit. And for the most part, with a few exceptions, it's exactly what Shad and also Uryu did get. However, what we are going to see in this video potentially, due to his attribute and also affiliation, he himself is a Mind Soripa that is specifically a melee character. So what that unfortunately does mean that he is going to be an Uryu victim. Uryu Vostandich is still the best character in Brave Battles as of right now, and minus the fact that Uryu does have overall more damage output, but also of course he does have the skill where he can block any character using a boost effect, which is why skills like this are very important, the opening stat boost, because it does allow him to have more stats compared to any other Brave Battle character, minus the 3 characters now that have access to this skill. Overall though, when it comes to a Brave Battle team, Uryu is going to be better. Uryu is going to be more important. So where does this character really fit in? Well, he's just going to be now in the best Brave Battle team. So right now, for example, the best Brave Battle team is going to consist of Uryu, Shad, and also IKKAKU. They are all part of the opening stat boost meta, and with Uryu as a lead, he is going to be the range character, which is why he is going to have an advantage over Shad and also IKKAKU. They both do deal more damage to each other. IKKAKU does more damage to Uryu, Uryu does more damage to IKKAKU, but given that Uryu is going to be the range character, he is always going to have that advantage over the other 2 characters, specifically IKKAKU, especially if they are on the side instead of the middle. In the middle, maybe it does come down to whoever has the better stats, but I feel like most of the fights are going to be in Uryu's favor. So if you are expecting a character to switch up the meta, dominate like Uryu has been dominating, you're not really going to get that. But then again, that's not what IKKAKU is there for. He's not there to counter Uryu. He's here more so to solidify the stat boost meta while being good against other characters that you are going to come across. Chads, Mila Rose, Yuha Bucks, or Rahime's. So with that in mind, he is the perfect 3rd Brave Battle character, but again, if you're looking for something to basically overpower Uryu and maybe kickstart a new toxic meta, IKKAKU's not that. So it's a good or bad thing, it really depends on how you see it. With that said though, when it comes to the build for all 3 characters, we are going to use the 3 same exact accessories, a Golden Chappie, and also Purples at 5-star plus. Now we do have access to normal Chappies at 5-star plus, but I've not gone ahead and done that just yet, but that's something that you could do to make your team better. So again, IKKAKU is using the exact same build here, and same goes for Chad. Now for bonus abilities, we've gone with dodge and low stamina, again for every 3 characters in this team. And then the soul traits are going to differ from character to character. It really just comes down to what links you potentially have, and what's going to offer the most damage output or defense, for example. So in this case, let me actually put on Yachiru for, I guess in this case, Orihime. And in all honesty, using Ganju's EX skill maybe doesn't sound like a bad idea if you can guarantee that your Uryu doesn't take any damage here. For IKKAKU, we're going with these 3 soul traits, and then for Chad, we're going with these 3 soul traits. So in this case, let's use this as an example. Now, currently I'm in 4th seat, so we might not find the best players out there. Like this, for example, isn't the most amazing build, right? And they are going with a normal attack damage build. Let me just see how IKKAKU does go. My IKKAKU is better built here, so I'm curious to see if somehow a worse built Uryu can somehow overpower my IKKAKU from this distance. Let's find out. Okay, we just played super fast. But I mean, IKKAKU didn't really hit Uryu there yet. I don't think you really want to put IKKAKU in the same lane, a distant lane, if it's not in the middle against Uryu, because likely Uryu is going to kill fast if they have good damage and they are well built. Now, next team does have more battle power than me, so let's see how this does go. We have put Uryu against... Never mind. It's trying to be an IKKAKU showcase, but as you'll see here, Aaroniero is still such a dominant character that it's still going to, like with the Chad showcase, it just turned into another Aaroniero showcase, right? And that doesn't mean that the other two characters are bad. IKKAKU and, you know, Chad do have a place in the team, more so just to big up Aaroniero. And this team has a PvE character compared to what they're going to do there. But honestly, maybe it is better this way until they maybe do start a new meta. Having a new broken Brave Battle character every 6 months that instantly invalidate the previous character does get a bit toxic from time to time. So let's go ahead and try this and use IKKAKU in the front, because maybe this is an example. If they do use their strong attack straight away, IKKAKU can have the advantage over Aaroniero. So you can use IKKAKU as a Aaroniero counter, but it really depends on the situation. Again, if Aaroniero in the front line, if they instantly use the strong attacks like they did there because they wanted the attack strategy, in this case, maybe IKKAKU can have the advantage. Now, listen, we're bullying this team here, but hey, we take the free elo. Surprisingly, this team lasted longer than most other teams here. So this team does have good damage output. In this case, let's put Aaroniero on the bottom and IKKAKU on the front, just to see if IKKAKU can do something here. Okay, so he did do some really good damage to IKKAKU. I think one hit maybe took me down to half HP. Unironically, the dodge did save us there. I genuinely think the dodge actually saved us from dying in 2 normal attacks. But they were going with a build where they were full normal attack damage, so it was kind of expected that Aaroniero in particular was a glass cannon. And maybe it is because I'm in 4th seat, I can't fully show that, but it does seem like putting IKKAKU in a long distance lane against Aaroniero doesn't seem like the best idea to do, because IKKAKU just end up taking too much damage before we can even attack Aaroniero in particular. So for our next match, let's see how this does go. Aaroniero in the middle. I don't even know if IKKAKU even hit Aaroniero there. Aaroniero still killing too fast. I'm getting my team ain't even like super built. My IKKAKU is 1-5, Aaroniero is 2-5, and Chad is 1-5. Next game, we have Aaroniero versus Aaroniero. Now, fair tip, by the way, do go with the special strategy. Even though the attack strategy does say it prioritizes normal attacks, which is true, it does. It's a bit misleading because it does give you the impression that if you want to get your normal attacks off the fastest, or like most consistently, you want to go with this. But special actually prioritizes normal attacks more than the attack strategy does. I believe it is 70% chance your character will use a normal attack while also getting extra stamina, while also prioritizing sword bombs. I believe when it comes to the attack strategy, it's like a 60% chance the character will use their normal attack. So this statement is true. It does prioritize normal attacks, but so does the special strategy, and unironically it prioritizes it more. So jumping into our next game, in this case, we do have IKKAKU versus Mira Rose. He does do more damage to Mira Rose. So again, it really does feel like IKKAKU is just supposed to be that third missing slot to a team. If you are wondering how to best build your team, the characters right now are very selfish. It doesn't really matter about team boosts anymore, or debuffs or effects, because Aaroniero just cancels all of them. So a team like this are just 3 selfish, big damage dealers, and even IKKAKU's not right now getting the spotlight. If a team does have these 3 characters versus a team that doesn't, unless Aaroniero still solos the entire team, these teams should win more often than not. Like I said, IKKAKU is the third missing piece to this team, and he really does feel like that too, because he does deal more damage against most of the characters you are seeing here. More often than he is going to be Chad, more often than he is going to be Mira Rose, which is some of the more relevant characters right now in the meta, and he will be doing some good damage against Aaroniero, but the question is going to be, can he get to Aaroniero in time? So this should be a well-built Aaroniero. They do have over 60,000 total power. Let's see if IKKAKU does die here. So that's an example, right? We can finally see a good team. You do not want to put IKKAKU in the sidelines. We already knew that, but now we have an example of why not to do that. Just too much range between the characters. Fortunately, though, my Aaroniero was able to carry us. So the next 2 teams do have more power than us. This is a max transcendent Aaroniero. Do they use strong attacks? I think he wasted some time there, so in this case, that's actually pretty impressive that IKKAKU was able to win that. So I feel like that might be the best play here. Use IKKAKU in the middle if they have Aaroniero in the middle, and hopefully your Aaroniero kills their enemy faster. So even if IKKAKU does lose, he will be dealing a lot of damage to Aaroniero, and then your Aaroniero can just potentially finish up the enemy and take out the rest of the team from afar. Especially, again, if the enemies are going with the attack strategy where they're potentially going to use a strong attack. We'll see how it does go. There we go. In that case, IKKAKU did take a few hits there, managed to survive just to get 1 hit on the Aaroniero and actually take him out. They had a lot of power there. I think that was a decently built, but I think they went with a glass cannon, normal attack damage build, which is something that I don't really recommend. But if it works for you, it works for you. Maybe it's not as good as on a defense side, but offensively, maybe it is good to build Aaroniero with full normal attack damage. Personally, though, I'm always going to stick to DR. Next up, let's see how IKKAKU, or the best new Brave Battle team, goes against the old best Brave Battle team as all three characters here are max transcended. Now, Yuha is lasting quite a while. This is an example of why maybe IKKAKU is good in the game, because unironically there, if it weren't for my team actually dominating the other two characters, Uryu would have lost to Yuha back. And that's a reason why people are still using Yuha. You can build him to be quite defensive, especially because he is now an old character. You maybe have this character max transcended. You can build him to be really tanky, and especially with the paralysis that he does have. It is RNG heavy, to be fair, but in a case like that, you can inflict paralysis on Uryu because he is immune to nothing and end up winning the fight. In the case for IKKAKU, we didn't really touch upon it, but IKKAKU does have paralysis immunity. Right now, I believe he's the only character of these three Brave Battle units that have any type of immunity, and I think they did put that on this character to be used against Yuha bugs. So again, going back to the idea that he is the perfect third character in the team, they kind of put little things into this character's kit to be overall good against kind of everyone. But because of that, he's not going to have as much of an impact as Uryu might have in the meta. But also, with that in mind, you can also use that as a reason to say that this character is kind of useless. To be fair, because if you haven't max transcended Uryu, or if you haven't really worked on Uryu, or even if I didn't might not have IKKAKU at all, I would still be winning all these games. So it could be like a jack of all trades, master of none type situation with IKKAKU. Because as good as the character is, you don't really get to see most of the power here because Uryu is again just dominating every single game right now. So overall, I'm a bit indifferent on this character existing right now. One part of me is kind of happy that he's just another character to the Brave Battle meta that doesn't completely break it like Uryu did. Like I said already, if we continued getting a game-breaking Brave Battle character every 6 months, that would just instantly invalidate the previous character. It does get a little bit annoying, right, when you put all that effort into summoning for a character like Uryu. This might be our most balanced Brave Battle character technically, but at the same time a character that honestly you can just go without. He's a good character to have. I don't regret summoning for this character, but then again, because it is IKKAKU, I was more so summoning for Shunsui and also Aizen, and just happened to get IKKAKU. Like I already mentioned at the start of the video too, maybe I would have preferred of this character being something more exciting from a gameplay standpoint, but also character choicing. IKKAKU is not really that cool for an end-of-year unit, but at the same time, given how this character now turned out, not being super game-breaking in the Brave Battle meta, maybe I am happy it is IKKAKU, because I've been saying I would have loved for the Brave Battle character to be Gerard, for example. I wouldn't even said no to an end-of-year Brave Battle Ichigo, since we already have True Shikai, and we're probably going to get another one from Core 3. Ichigo's never really been a Brave Battle character besides Full Hollow that was kind of mediocre on release. I wouldn't have minded if this was Ichigo, truth be told. But then if it was a cool character and it ended up being this unit where they're not really making a splash in Brave Battles, that would also then be a little bit disappointing for a Brave Battle character, which is kind of crazy to say. So overall, he's a Brave Battle character. He's a Brave Battle character. That's basically sums up the situation. He is the character.